Let me pass it on to Mr. Sergio. Go away, Sergio. Take it on.
Thank you, Alvin. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm smoking, let me see. I don't see my picture here. Okay, I got it here. I'm smoking I love this. This is nice. This is a downhill Labatt, the fishtail, which is, I normally don't see Labatts with fishtails. This one has a fishtail on it, very comfortable. And I'm smoking Virginia Perique. One of my favorites, Virginia Periques, is San Bernard. Right? This is from Dan Tobacco. It's one of my favorites, vapors, great. And then after this one, PDR mentioned just bring something new to the table. And this is one of my new tobaccos that I really enjoyed. I tried for the first time about 2 weeks ago from HU. It's called Coming Home. And it's a great, this is a Virginia Burley with honey and nuts flavor on it, and a little bit of rose oil. It's a very balanced, aromatic. You fully taste all the tobaccos, tastes delicious. And I don't see that my pipes get ghost with this. It's not like a Lakeland. It's very balanced and it's an all-day smoke. It's one nowadays. It's like one of my favorites, maybe aromatics. I would say so, and it's delicious. I really highly recommend it. Coming Home from HU. Well, I'm gonna pass this to Tim.
Thank you, Sergio. It's nice to see you today. And okay, so today I'm smoking a pipe that I made. This is, I don't know what you call it, like a teardrop or dewdrop kind of bent shape pipe. And in it, bird's nest, okay.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And in it, I'm smoking this is a new tobacco to me, Davidoff Flake Medallions. Second time I'm smoking, it's Virginia Perique. It's in those kind of medallions like Deluxe Navy Rolls and Bullseye Flake, Virginia Perique, and a little center of Black Cavendish. And after that, I'm probably going to go to this Peterson 4AB. And in it, I will be smoking some London mixture. So new acquisitions. Well, I'm expecting one and hoping for one on Wednesday, because that is the day that Peterson is releasing the 14B, which is their pipe of the year. And it is basically this shape, the Mark Twain shape, which was, very, very popular. And Wednesday, 6 o'clock, smokingpipes.com will be releasing it. So you know where I will be exactly at 6 o'clock, because this thing is probably going to go really quickly. They've been putting out some special editions, and like this one was the pipe of the year last year. And this thing just went like that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of fans out there. So you got to be quick. And I also learned that you can't really shop around with these. Like you can't look at this pipe and look at the blast on this one compared to, I don't know. You pretty much got to look at one, grab it, get it in your cart and buy it because it's gone. I've had that happen once or twice, so I learned my lesson. But that's it for new upcoming acquisitions for me. And then, of course, there's the Columbus show this weekend. My guess is I will probably find something there, more than likely.
Nice.
And Tim, I have the 14B and the Rua Sandblast, PSP Sandblast coming.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful.
So, I'm looking forward to that.
That's good. That's wonderful, Alvin. It's going to be a great pipe. They always seem to be picking a very popular shape from yesteryear. So, okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass the pipe on.
How is the Peterson tattoo going?
Oh, you know what? Haven't gotten around to that though, but I will be wearing my Peterson shirt at the show. I will be wearing that. But
See you at the show, Tim. See you at the show.
I'll see you at the show, Alvin. Thank you.
Okay.
Sergio, thank you for reminding me of that. I need to get to work on that. So anyway, with this in mind, I'm going to pass the virtual pipe on to another member of the Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club who has moved down south, and that is Sean McConnell. Take it away, Sean.
Hey, Tim. It's great seeing you, and Sean as well. The other Sean. Yeah, I just moved down to Savannah, Georgia, so I'm still getting got boxes everywhere, but pulled out a few tobaccos, a few pipes. But when I did move down here, I went to our local pipe shop, the Ye Old Pipe Shop, and picked up this ADS in the Smooth, which I do have a sandblasted version of this. And in that, as an homage to Boston, some Paredes, Boston slices, because you can move the boy to the south, but you can't take that northeast out of them. So with that, Perry, it looks nice and sunny over there. What you got going on today?
Yeah, it is nice and sunny here in Northern California, though I don't think the temperature will be too bad today, up in the 90s, but we're supposed to break well over 100 next week, so it's coming. Anyway, I'm going to actually start with a cigar this morning. It's a Punch Classico Rothschild, I guess. And Punch Classico used to be the old Punch that comes 50 in a box for, I think they charged a couple of dollars each at that time, and it's only gone up some, so it's a really good deal cigar. They're pretty flavorful. And then I'll follow that up with some HH Old Dark Fired in a IMP Meerschaum. Do that there. So
I'm good.
yeah, it has. I was real pleased with that. So with that, I'll hand it off to, let's see, Janos, have you gone yet? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Sorry. Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon to everybody.
One of my creation,
Small one,
one of my creation,
little
small
bit,
one, and I decided to go
vintage today.
better song for
Vintage
Grand
today is
Reserva
better
from
song for
2007,
Grand Reserva
is,
from 2007,
which
is
is
Virginia plant,
which is
light aromatic,
Virginia plant.
and is light
I
aromatic.
have another 2 or 3
And
bowls,
I have another
and
2
I
or 3
will
bowls,
add the pipe
and
to
I will still
add
spend.
the pipe to
Still spend.
Thank you, Janos. Hey, good day, everybody.
Thank
good
you,
morning,
Janos.
Good day, good evening, wherever you are.
Good day, everybody. Good morning, good day, good evening,
Beautiful
wherever
day
you
here.
are.
And good to see everybody.
Midwest of the U.S.
Beautiful day here in
Illinois.
the Midwest.
Today
of
I'm
the
just
US,
smoking
Central
my
Illinois.
little Peterson tankard.
Today I'm just smoking
becoming
my
more and more fond
Peterson
of this pipe
tankard.
the more I smoke it.
Just becoming
In it
more and more
today, I've
fond
got
of this
some
pipe the more I
Cornell and
smoke
Deal
it.
crooner.
In it today I've
taking
got
a
some
break from
Cornell and Deal
Virginia's.
crooner.
I've been smoking
taking a
a
break
Virginia
from
blends lately.
Virginia's. I've been smoking a lot of good
Virginia
Virginia blends
Flake and
lately.
Bouncing back and forth
Old
between the
Virginia
new Sun
Flake
Bear,
and
which
bouncing back
I
and forth
mentioned
between the
last
new
week.
Sun Bear.
For any of you guys who have
I think I mentioned
got
last
your
week.
hands on
For any of you
Sun
guys
Bear
who
are interested,
got your
my
hands on
fiance
any of the
tells
Sun
me
Bear
it's the
or
most,
interested. My fiance tells me it's the
intoxicating
most
ambrosia in the room note that she's
intoxicating ambrosia
out of anything
in the
I've
room
ever
note
smoked,
that
and she smells everything I run
out of
through my
anything I've
pipe,
ever
so
smoked, and she
that's
smells
always
everything
a
I
plus.
run through my pipe. So
With
that's
that,
always a plus.
I will pass the virtual pipe
With
on
that,
to
I
Darren
will
Barr.
pass the virtual pipe on to Darren Barr.
All right, hello, fellas. Hello, Steve. How
All right,
you
hello,
doing?
fellas.
Hello, Steve. How you
shirt,
doing?
Go Bears. Love your shirt. Go Bears.
Cubs, but I'm a Bears fan too.
Okay.
Cubs, but I'm a Bears
Oh.
fan too.
Okay,
I saw the
go
Chicago
Cubs.
part, and I saw
Yeah,
the C. It's like
I saw the Chicago part, and I saw
You got
the
that
C.
right.
It's like it's right. Go Cubbies.
You got that right.
All right,
That's
so
right,
I'm not
go
smoking
Cubbies.
anything right now because I'm in the
All right,
house.
so I'm not smoking
but
anything
I
right
have
now
this,
because I'm in the house.
Corn Cob Nation.
But I have this
Missouri
Corn
Meerschaum
Cob
Nation
Nation,
Pipe of the Year 2018.
Missouri Meerschaum Nation Pipe of the Year
My
2018.
latest tobacco acquisition has
My
been
latest
is
tobacco acquisition
some
has
Rattay's
been
Marlin
is
Flake, which I really
some
enjoy.
Rattay's
That's my
Marlin
latest
Flake,
acquisition.
which I really
I'll probably
enjoy.
be
That's my
smoking
latest
that later.
acquisition. I'll probably be smoking that later.
The corncob nation.
And interesting thing about the corncob nation pipe is that the logo is not a sticker. It's kind of like engraved into the bottom of the pipe. So that's pretty cool.
Today, maybe a couple times.
So this is the pipe I'm going to smoke today, maybe a couple times. It's really comfortable to hold,
thick, so it stays cool
and it's really thick, so it
much.
stays cool in your hand. It doesn't heat up that much.
I am going to pass the
And I am going to pass the virtual pipe to Dimitri.
Thank you. I have to say, thank you. I have to say that one as well. It's one of my favorite corn cobs. I have one as well. It's one of my favorite corn cobs, and I have some of them older than I am. Probably over 30 different ones. Some of them older than I am. Today I'm starting today I'm starting with in this aged Bernie flake, in this old nut Sherman, and then I'll continue with another bulldog, and then I'll continue with another nut Sherman pipe, and one made in Italy, and early morning pipe. And let me to the pipe to Glenn. Glenn.
I've already been, but thank you. I've already been, but thank you.
Your hand was. No, I just saw your hand was raised. Okay, then who didn't go yet? Okay, then who didn't go yet?
We haven't heard from Ian.
Okay, Ian then.
This is greetings from Northwest London. Greetings from Northwest London. I don't know. This is the Pipe Club of London. I don't know what you call that. A couple of years ago, bizarre shape. Don't know what you call that shape. It's a sort of bizarre shape. And in it, I've got Gareth and Hogarth's brown flakes, aromatic, because I'm mainly smoking flakes now. And I'll pass the pipe on to John Torpey. And I'll pass the pipe on to John.
I think that's called a drunken poker. I think that's called a drunken poker.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Today I'm smoking one of my newer acquisitions. Today I'm smoking one of my newer acquisitions. It's a Peterson pub pipe. I'm smoking an older blend of Peterson. I'm smoking an older special reserve blend of Peterson 2011. Special reserve 2011. Unfortunately, when this is all gone, that's it. Unfortunately, when this is all gone, I wish they would have. It's a great blend. I wish they would have. And then after that, I'll have a regular blend. Sunbear in our. And then after that, I'll have some Sunbear in our 2020 pass it on to David Johnson. So I'll pass it on to David Johnson.
Hey, John, before you go, I just have to check it. Where you been, dude?
Oh, been working. I closed my office and I joined. I closed my office and I joined a corporate dental practice. Corporate last 2 years. I've been working Saturdays for the last 2 years, and I've been working Saturdays. Occasionally I'm off on a Saturday, but there's always. Occasionally I'm off on a Saturday, but there's trying my best to make it. So I'm trying my best to make it. Watch you guys on YouTube all the time. I follow you guys and watch you guys on YouTube all the time. I watch the replays during the week. Hopefully soon I'll be off on Saturdays and I'll be able to. Soon I'll be off on Saturdays and I'll be able to join more often.
Good. I mean, we miss you, and we were just busting your chops a bit. But you have to remember that when you're not here, we talk about you behind your back.
I know.
Just saying.
Saying.
I know that.
Saying.
Yeah.
that.
Well, go ahead and pass the pipe, sir.
David Johnson.
Thank you, sir.
David Johnson.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's see. Right now, I'm smoking one of my. Well, let's see. Right now, I'm smoking one of my new acquisitions. My Terrup's, just an inexpensive, kind of a cute little pipe. Inexpensive, kind of a cute little pipe. It actually fits me. Weird thing is, big as I am, these weird thing is, big as I am, these fit me better than a small little pipes fit me better than a big bulky one. Let's see. Let's see. New acquisitions. This one made Dave poor. And this one made Dave poor. And probably poor for the distant future. Distant future.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Very nice. Very
Sherlock
nice.
Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Very
fantastic.
Nice.
What a great
Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
Fantastic. You bet.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah.
You bet.
It made me a 4-man. It made me a 4-man. So I'm probably going to be, sucking at the horse trough, as they say. The sucking at the horse trough, as they say, this month. But whatever. Well, whatever. I got a, people have been talking. They asked me what kind of tobacco I like, and I tell them that I like aromatics. Invariably, somebody says something about autumn. So I went ahead and ordered. A couple of ounces of autumn evening. I've smoked through it, and I like it. I've smoked through it, and I like it. So very nice. So I've got a couple of pounds I've got a couple of pounds of other. So until I'm tobacco poor and broke, I'll be smoking what I've got on hand. I've got almost 100 pipes to smoke them in. I've got almost 100 pipes to smoke them in. So I think I'll be all right. I'll keep myself afloat. I'm going to pass it on to Amir M. Have fun, sir. Have fun, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm smoking this Stanwell. I'm smoking this in this Stanwell New York, but I like it. It's not new pipe, but I like it. Tonight it's the first and the last. Tonight it's the first and the last day because it's late night here. 11 because it's late night here. I'm smoking 11 p.m. I'm smoking 40 flakes. Salty flake and essence. It has it's the second bowl of this. It's the second bowl of this. I opened it yesterday. I think good. I couldn't say it's great, but it's good. Tasty as smoke. I couldn't say it's great, but it's tasty as smoke. Yeah, thank you. Like it. And I don't see any. Thank you. And I don't see any right hand. I think so. I pass it to the David. So I pass it to the David.
Well, thank you, sir. And it's good timing right now. I think there's a bunch of guys who haven't raised their hand. If you want to raise your hand and do a little bit.
Hand raised there.
So that
Farrell,
hand raised there.
Farrell Foreman? Farrell trying to speak. I think Farrell is trying to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like back in grade school. Raise your hands. You know what to do. There we go. Because otherwise, I'm going to show a couple things, and then we're going to go and introduce our special guest for the week. But Dave's here. Dave,
hi, everybody. Yeah, I was trying to get in, and hi, everybody. Yeah, I was trying to get in, and I'm late to the party, but I've been listening in on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, I'm smoking a fairly YouTube. Anyway, yeah, I'm smoking a fairly new acquisition. Fairly good sized Costello. It's a shape 65. Fairly good sized Costello shape 65. But I just wanted to say to you, David, thank you so much for promoting. But I just wanted to say to you, David, thank you so much for promoting our Las Vegas International Pipe Show. And with that, is there anybody else that needs to be introduced?
I'm glad you made it, Dave. I just want to say I'm glad you made it, Dave. Make sure you got over here, and I wanted to make sure you got over here. That was me to put in all those directions.
I appreciate that.
That was me to put in all those directions.
Yeah, I see my partner in crime down here. Much appreciated. Yeah, I see my partner in crime down here is Brian Levine is in the room, so I'm going to let him raise.
I love to hear him.
Pass the virtual pipe to Brian. So I'll pass it to pass the virtual pipe to Brian.
Can you steal the pipe, Dave, again, please?
Very nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So what did I do? I'm just sitting here. So what did I do? I'm just sitting here.
Well, that was the problem. I think that's the point.
Well, I got motivated because I saw that really cool. Well, I got motivated because I saw that really cool Meerschaum set earlier. First of all, I'm on here to support my friend Mike. First of all, I'm on here to support my friend Mike. We go back for 18, 20 years. What, Mike? We go back 18, 20 years? Yeah, I had a full head of hair.
At least.
And I had a full head of hair. And you look the same.
20 pounds lighter.
We're not 20
pounds lighter.
We're not talking about that. Apparently, I'm carrying twin elephants. Because apparently, I'm carrying twin elephants or something. So. All right. So what I'm smoking is I got motivated by that. All right. So what I'm smoking is I got motivated by that Meerschaum set, and I thought, you know what? I haven't smoked one of my Meerschaums in a while, so. I thought I would pull out. Given to me by McClellan, and it's a. This was given to me by McClellan, and it's a Meerschaum that they made for their 25th anniversary. And it's got 25 of them, and they gave me one. So they made 25 of them, and they gave me one. So
back at 50.
Wow.
That's logo. Back at 50.
There it is. Yeah. Here, let's see if I can get it to focus. There it is. That's better. Anyway, it's a big bowl too. I mean, it's a big bowl too. I mean, I'll be able to smoke this for 4 hours. And I'm smoking a McClellan tobacco in it. So. And I'm smoking a McClellan tobacco in it. So.
McClellan all around. Well, thank you, sir. I'm going to pass it over to, because we're going to come back to Brian later. So I'm going to pass it over to Ramachandran.
Thanks very much. First of all, my apologies for thanks very much. First of all, my apologies. Anyway, I'm back today. And today, anyway, I'm back today. Brought my and today I'm 616. Brought my 7616 with Peter Stockerby, which I filled with Peter Stockerby's 403 Weber, Virginia Burley. Weber, Virginia Burley, which seems unlikely. And if I'm able to pull through, which seems unlikely, then I'll go in for my next pipe, Dunhill. Which is Dunhill. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's in here. Which I'll go have Latake rolls. So that's in which I'll go have Latake rolls. So that's it for today. From me. For today. From me.
Well, awesome. What we're going to do then is try to see if we can move this along. I will back clean up myself here. So currently, what I've got today is an all Eldritch day. An all Eldritch day. I'm just started out with one of my favorite Chris Kelly pipes, a little bent apple. It's just a grand smoker. I figured out finally, I really love an open draw pipe as opposed to a sort of a more, gotta pull it out. You can derive a bunch of flavors that way, but I like it to make it easy on me to smoke. But once I get through that, I'm probably going to go and smoke one of these. These are my new acquisitions. I ordered these, it looks like a lot, but I actually ordered these months and months ago. And because of knowing that Chris has so many commissions backed up, I don't know if you remember, but I did at one point have a Slender Man that I broke. So he made me a new one, and he made me a new one with a new kind of stain on it. It's an iridescent. That is not your imagination. It's glowing in the dark there, and a bit of an unusual shape that he made, because the Slender Man typically does not have this steep angle on the stem there. So I feel special. And then a Dr. Silence reading pipe, all in flames. It's on fire. So and speaking of on fire, this Tim was admiring this pipe when Chris had it on his All Pipes of the Week show, and I'm the one that had ordered it. And I didn't realize, from the picture, how enormous that could rival Brian's bowl right there. It's really look, it takes up my entire hand there. That's a big bowl. So yeah, that's what I'm smoking today. Oh, and I was going to say, and to go in, obviously, what would go better than all of these Ken Byron Ventures pipes? So I have a little bit left of the, actually he didn't make this for distribution. He made this special for Chris, Goblin Mixture, and then this is Virginian, and the Patience of Dr. Silence for the Dr. Silence. Just figured that go together. Anyway, that's what I'm smoking. Now, in a second, I want to introduce, by the way, oohs and ahs, gentlemen.
So DDR on that third pipe you showed. So DDR on that third pipe you showed. Is that acrylic extending into the bowl?
It is, and this is a. I'm not quite sure what he said about the process that he had to use, but it is a special process to marry these together. So this is Briar. This is not some kind of fancy acrylic. And
BDR, can you put that closer to your camera?
Used it.
BDR, can you put that closer to your camera?
Is that? There we go.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
Right. And because of the translucence of that acrylic, you can see the smoke traveling through the acrylic as you're smoking that. I saw that on his site, and I was just like,
those fusion pipes are beautiful.
I need that in my collection.
Those fusion pipes are beautiful that he does.
Just gorgeous. So yeah. Now, in a moment, for those of you who are joining late a little bit, we have this very special guest today, who has a company, a business that I think is revolutionary in the pipe world that I've seen so far. It was the most excited I got by any of the booths. Not to downplay how great the other vendors were, but just like this one was very unique. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about our sponsor here, the Las Vegas International Pipe Show. I've been trying to talk about this every week, but it's coming up, October 21st to the 23rd, and you can go to the website and buy a ticket at vegaspipeshow.com or vegaspipeshow.com. I think either one will get you there. And so a couple things about that. Going to be a ton of really awesome vendors at the show. We've got a partial list that you can go to the website and find out who's going to be there. But of course, two things that make this show really, really special. One is that when you buy your ticket to the show, you also get a couple of raffle tickets for the chance to win two, not one, but two different pipe sets. I have pictures of one of them to share. Here is the set that Janos Kokinos has supplied. It's a two pipe set of the same design as our pipe of the year, with 6 additional stems, or I guess 4 additional stems, but 6 stems altogether that you can mix and match, and just like your set of Barbie dolls, right? And then there's another set which I don't have pictures of yet, which I'm going to have soon, I hope. A 4-pipe set called the Four Horsemen, and it's from Chris Kelly and a bunch of his friends up there in the UK. So that's and you get that for the same, like altogether for the price of your ticket. And that's really special. Now, there's one other thing that's really special, and that is that the Virtual Pipe Club, we collectively are sponsoring a hospitality suite at the Vegas Pipe Show. It's a 14th floor room where you can smoke and drink. So Friday night, we're having a whiskey tasting. Saturday night, we're having a beer tasting, and a giant hornet just flew into my studio here. And Sunday night, a sake tasting. So we've got some plans for y'all, and I'm hoping that you'll decide today to go buy your ticket, and we'll come and see you in October. And that's all the time I'm going to take there. So thank you for letting me talk about Vegas Pipe Show. I'm really excited about it. Now, our special guest for today, as I said, is a man who I think is going to change the pipe smoking world. And his name is Mike DiCuccio, and I'd like to introduce him right now.
Hello,
Mike,
everyone.
all the fine people.
Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you
For the kind words, David. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you for the kind
Hello,
words,
Mike.
David.
Welcome.
I appreciate that very much.
Mike, hey,
Hello,
Great to
Mike.
be here.
Welcome.
Thanks for
Hi,
having
Mike.
me.
Mike, hey, Mike.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, as Brian mentioned, Mike's been around for a while, and he has a history of being a. That didn't come out right.
Very true, though. It's very true, though.
I should think before I put my mouth in gear. We talked about this yesterday. We chatted about what we were going to say, and I completely forgot my lines. But let's start out with a bit of history, man. Like, where are you from, and what was your childhood like, and when did you start smoking?
Born and raised in Columbus. I'm born and raised in Columbus. I'm a native breed, apparently. There are a lot of transplants. A rare breed, apparently. But there are a lot of transplants around. I got into the pipe collecting. I guess first I was always enamored with tobacco. I guess first I was always enamored with tobacco. Even as a little kid. My dad belonged to an Italian country club, and after a round of golf, and after a round of golf carts, I was a chauffeur driving the golf carts. We'd go into the clubhouse, and all the guys would be sitting there eating their sausage and peppers, whatever. Their linguine or their sausage and peppers, whatever. But they all had pipes or cigars in their mouths, and they all seemed like we had a hell of a great time. Vending machine. So I'd always ask my dad for a buck for the vending machine. We always come back and go get a candy bar, but we always come back with a box of White Owls or Tipperellos. Guys thought that was funny. Of course, and smoke them, but guys thought that was funny. Of course, they didn't. Trying to hang out with the guys. I was doing this, but I'm trying to hang out with the guys. I just always thought it was socialize, and just a really cool way to socialize, and I just thought it was an interesting world that I wanted to be a part of. An interesting world that I wanted to be a part of. I guess around my college is when I actually sophomore year in college is when I actually strolled after took the plunge and strolled after classes one day at my local tobacconist. Strolled into Barclay. They're still there. My local tobacconist Barclay. They're still there over here, and they're just well known in Columbus. Picked the nice pipe out of a grab bag of picked the nice pipe out of a grab bag of $10 pipes. Found something that went to the tobacco bar. Found something that appealed to me. After that, that was it. After that, completely, I was hooked on it, and I just completely hooked on it. And there's so many variations, and the guy. There's so many variations, and the guy who sadly passed away became my mentor. Sadly passed away last year, actually, and a few months ago last year. Actually, and Nick Ratliff, the closest of friends. And he and I just became. He was just like a closest of friends. And he was just like a big brother, uncle, and he literally taught me kind of guy. And he literally taught me everything, and kind of steered me towards some of the nuances of the higher end pipes and hobby, and makes higher end pipes, tobacco a good tobacco, makes good tobacco a good tobacco, etc. Systematically, I just went. Just systematically just started like the rest of us, acquiring things like the rest of us. Although I tend to be a little overzealous on things. I tend to be a little into them, and this overzealous on things once I get into them, and this was certainly no different. I started acquiring things pretty quickly, and started acquiring things pretty quickly, and I'm kind of glad I did, because that's when tobacco seller started to build up my tobacco seller. I still have a lot of those treasures from way back. I still have a lot of those treasures from way back when. I've just been building on it ever since. It's just been building on it ever since. Mid '80s, I guess. Yeah, that was mid '80s, I guess. Yeah. That's it. That's all.
That's your whole life there? That's
it. That's all.
That's all you got.
But wait, there was a moment that Mike met me. But wait, there was a moment that Mike met me, and then he still stayed in the hobby.
That's right.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second there. I think there's a story to be had there. Brian, why don't you talk about? I can tell that Mike's a little shy, but I know that's not a problem you have there. So what
Mike is one of those guys that I actually know. Mike is one of those guys that I actually know his name. We've known each other a long time, and we've known each other a long time, and would always run into each other at Columbus and occasionally area. the other pipe shows in the area.
Mike, I was trying to find it, but
Mike, I was trying to find it, but I think my daughter absconded with the
bag
with the old Mickey Mouse
bag
golf
markers
tag
that you
and,
gave me. So.
and ball markers
I still
that
have,
you gave
I
me.
still have the Disney World pipe. I still have the Disney World pipe that I promised you. It's still sitting there.
No, I mean, Mike's just one of those good guys that is. No, I mean, Mike's just one of those good guys that is always nice and friendly and you want to hang out with, and
nice and friendly, and you want to hang out with,
put
and
money and effort into building a business in this.
Put money and effort into building a business in this. I'm wondering if he's a little on the stupid side, but yeah,
completely mental.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what got me all excited about meeting Mike and seeing the booth that he had there. And then maybe we can get him to talk a little bit about the origins of it and where it's at right now. So as many of you know, the entire pipe world breathed a big sad sigh the day that eBay cut off even the sneaky pirate way of selling tobaccos on eBay, and slapped the hands of anybody that tried to sneak around it. And so we have other alternatives. We've got like Steve Fallon and a number of other retail stores that do sell vintage and hard to find tobaccos, but it's pretty much like there is one price, and depending on where they acquired it, you have no control over the amount of money that it costs you to get, and a limit on what's available, because when it's a small channel, you only can reach a few people who might want to resell the tobacco that they have. But here I walk by this booth, and it's like the dream of what eBay could have been, if it were owned by pipe guys, and with a much wider channel to get tobaccos and pipes into this auction site. I think that this is going to be a brand new way that people are going to find the tobaccos they're looking for. Mike, by the way, I'm going to have Glenn hold up his McCraney's Syrian again, because this is one I think you need to have on Tinbids.
Yeah, he got one actually on the site. Yeah, he got one actually on the site. Exactly, starting bid at $1 right now. Yeah, exactly, starting bid at $1 right now on Tinbids.
Okay, I'll see you guys later, because I'm going to go on the website and bid on it. Anyway, Mike, is that a fair assessment of what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got started?
I think like the rest of us, master settlement since the agreement, master settlement, mid late '90s with the in those mid late '90s with there was always this between government and big tobacco. There was always this agreement that the luxury tobacco gentleman's agreement that premium cigars, the luxury tobacco world. Premium cigars, pipe tobaccos, things like that. Handmade tobaccos, pipe tobaccos, things like that. We're just going to be verboten and left alone. Didn't last long. Obviously, that didn't last long. It was May of 16. The FDA was May of 16 issued their deeming regulations. The FDA issued their deeming regulations. And like as you said, of course, everybody, like as you said, just sent everybody, eBay shortly thereafter. eBay shortly thereafter the headaches and decided they just didn't want the headaches and online. Well, that was part of my daily tobaccos online. Well, that was part of my daily in the part of the fun religion was just in the part of the fun was just finding I didn't have tobaccos that I wanted more of, tobaccos that I didn't have, tobaccos that I wanted more of. No longer that were hard to find, that were no longer in production, etc. That was all gone, and that didn't sit well. That was all gone, and that didn't sit well on me. So couch one evening, I just kind of fuming on my couch one evening. eBay doesn't want to do it. It was a voluntary. Okay, so eBay doesn't want to do it. It was a voluntary thing. It wasn't really a regulatory thing. Maybe we can do something. So let me take a look at this. Maybe we can do something that will fill the gap. Small business plan together. So I put a small business plan together, which later became a big business plan. Contacted one of the 1,000 lawyers in my family. Had wife's uncle, an attorney, referred me over to a friend of his. Wife's uncle's an attorney, referred me over to a friend of his who does sat down with him for a couple hours and sat down with him for a couple hours. After a couple of weeks, through it, and they did their analysis. After a couple of weeks, and he said, "I don't see any reason not to do it. If you want to do it, go for it." I don't see any reason not to do it. If you want to do it, go for it. So that's when I got the ball rolling. I said, just done. So that's when I got the ball rolling and just started putting a team together of developers and marketing and of course legal, and there was always going to be that, of course, legal, and we just there was always going to be that, and that we just dove in 5 years ago. That was it's taken this long to 5 years ago. Get it? It's taken this long to really off the ground. Get it? One of those, had I known what I was getting into back then. One of those, had I known what I was getting into back then, kind of thing. But I would have not saying I wouldn't have done it all over again, but I would have done things differently. But it was definitely was not as simple. Building a site like this was not as simple as just a plain old garden variety e-commerce site. To it, there are an awful lot of moving parts to it. Once we got the site stabilized, once we got the site stabilized, of course we had to go back and look and ready to go. Of course we had to go back and look at the legal landscape again from 2016. It was from 2016 a lot of things have changed, so we had to do a lot of pivoting. A lot of things have changed, so we had to do a lot of pivoting and rewriting of the codes, redesigning of the website. We felt pretty comfortable. Where we were, we felt pretty comfortable, and this was in where we were. We did our soft launch in February. We did our soft launch in February. I deliberately. And kept it kind of quiet. I deliberately wanted to test kept it kind of quiet because I just wanted to test the waters, dip my toes, and get too crazy. Make sure it wasn't, going to get too crazy. How the site was going to function in a live environment. See how the site was going to function in a live environment. We beta tested the site to death, but being so we weren't going to find all the flaws that. We weren't going to find all the flaws that all of you would find as subscribers. And it turned out to be the right decision. It turned out to be the right decision. I made Scott Thiele. I placed one ad that was on Pipedia. Scott Thiele and I are one of his good friends. Gorgeous. Actually got one of his pipes here. It was gorgeous. He suckered me in by saying that was the only Algerian by saying that he had. The only Algerian way that he had. So. There's no way that wasn't coming home to me. It's a nice piece. It's a nice piece. Play some ads with him. We got some light traffic. Play some ads with him, and we got some light traffic. It was just enough, but we did things interesting. Discover a lot of things that needed to be reworked. Discover a lot of we took advantage of the time to be reworked, and we took advantage of the time before we did any major that we had announcements. Before we did any major, just let word of mouth announcements kick in. Just let word of mouth really. Kick in from the February 1 soft launch to our official February 1 soft launch to our official announcement, which was at the Chicago show. The site was completely rebuilt in May. The site was completely rebuilt from the back end. Changes to accommodate all regulatory requirements. Changes in the regulatory requirements. We worked feverishly to get it. We worked feverishly to get it. Show and of course to get it ready for that show and every week there's some make modifications every week there's something new that we had that's going on with it, but the site that we had in February is not the site that you guys see today, and it's completely redesigned and I'm really pleased with it, and I'm more pleased that I'm really pleased with it. I'm more pleased that really starting now discovered it and really starting to use it a lot.
I think it's a really beautiful interface there.
Thank you.
Just a second, I'm going to open it up to questions from the members here, and I just want to say also, if you're watching over there on Facebook or YouTube, if you've got questions for Mike, type them into the comment section, and I will pass it along to him. But I just have one question before I open it up. I once watched a little video from what's his name from Amazon?
Oh, Bezos.
I'm getting to that age where I can't remember even.
Oh, Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, talking about the very first sale that they made on Amazon. He said they had it, they were all in some little room with bunches of computers everywhere, and they had it rigged up to a little bell that would ring when an order came in. And he said one day the bell rang And they had been testing it by their friends and relatives ordering something online. And the first one that came in, and then they're all looking around going, do you know that person? Do you know that person? No, that's not related to me.
Right.
It was their first actual sale.
Right.
Do you remember your
Oh,
first
absolutely.
actual sale on the site?
It was an exciting moment. Yeah, it was an exciting moment. Got a hit, and it wasn't a. We finally got a hit, and it wasn't a test or a dry run. It was an actual sale. We were elated to see it, and we were elated to see it, and it just started going after that. So. Did you
break out the
champagne? I think we did. We had a little prosecco. I think we did. We had a little prosecco, so that counts.
Awesome. Well, let me open it up to some questions. If you've got some questions for Mike, why don't you guys go ahead and stick your hands up there and ask. I think there's a lot of things that Mike could share with you. Yeah, Dimitri, go ahead, sir.
I don't have questions at the moment. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. That's what our community desperately needed for years since eBay shut down. I love those two clay church.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. That's nice to hear.
Perry, yes, sir.
Yeah, Mike, you sell rare and out of production tins. How do you go about finding?
It's all user generated. It's all user generated. I did a lot of, at first, a lot of the items myself just to see the site. A lot of the items myself just to see the site and to get it going. We don't have a warehouse. We're not a storefront. That was always my vision. So it really is. That was always my vision, was to keep it something like a true to eBay or something like a gun broker or Poshmark supplies the inventory. The user base supplies the inventory. That's really so that's really how it works. And virtual consignment. We had to come up with the virtual consignment. Are legally responsible for the sale of the item. Are legally responsible for the sale of the item. Reside with the seller. The items until the sale is reside with the seller until the sale is complete, and then they ship with a label that we provide and to the buyer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for the question.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
thanks for the question.
Very exciting because I just happen to have very exciting because I just happen to have some. I have some of the original Bengal slices. I have some of the original Bengal slices. I think I've got about 4 tins of that. Very old Penzance. And I have some very old Penzance. Surprise! And it's a 7-ounce tin. I think it's a 7-ounce tin original smoking mixture. Balkan Sobranie original smoking mixture. It's got a dent in it. A white tin. It's got a dent in it. It's not lid's intact. Ruptured as far as I can tell. When you shake lid's intact, but there's a little movement when you shake it. A long time ago. I bought it a long time ago when I was like 70. Oh God, it must have been like 71, something like that. I've been holding on to it like a fool. I've been holding on to it like a fool. I'm afraid I still got it. I don't know what to. And I'm afraid to open. I don't know what to do.
I have quite a few of those myself. I understand. I have quite a few of those stuff like myself. But yeah, stuff like that traditionally going very well. Just traditionally going very well. Had the past couple of months. Tracking that we've had the past couple of months. A lot of demographics, we can see we've really literally spanning the globe. To see that the entire really happy world has to see that the entire world has. I would like taken notice. Like to see more activity out of Europe. I would obviously like to see more activity out of Europe and Great Britain. What was surprising, though I was surprising, I did do though I was counting on it because I did do the Asian market amount of research. Kind of was the Asian market was kind of an unpolished gem. Launched, I noticed almost immediately. As soon as we launched, I noticed almost immediately China, especially closer to the Hong Kong region. China, especially closer to the Hong Kong region, were flocking to the site. Numbers I couldn't even believe. Numbers I couldn't even believe myself. They're really their love of the hobby and their passion for these, their love of the hobby and their passion for these luxury tobacco products is quite apparent with the bids that are being placed and type of the bids that are being placed, their acquisitions and items. So their acquisitions of these items. So going esoteric stuff has really been for obvious reasons. We go into these 5-year, 3-5-year for obvious reasons. We go into these 5-year, 3-5-year droughts. Stash of them. Before really seeing a good stash of them hit the retail shelves. So, but it's good. It's not really surprising, but it's good to see.
Well, I'm wondering if you could, I'm sure everybody has worked on eBay before, finding pipes and before that, pirating out tobacco and whatnot. But why don't you go through sort of a description of how the site works, especially like if Randall says, okay, I want to get rid of some of these old tins that I'm never going to smoke. Like,
it's I tried to make the site I tried to make the site that was always as simple as possible. That was always a mission requirement for me. Being around the pipe collecting community for as long as I have. Being around the pipe collecting community for as long as I have. I have friends 35 years now in their 80s, and I have friends that are that are in their 80s, and I have friends that are in their 20s. There had to be some happy so there had to be some happy medium somewhere where everybody could use the site I think in a simple fashion. So I think we've achieved that. So the way you do it is you go to Tinbids.com. And there's you register for the site. Tabs once you get and there's there are 2 tabs once you get your initial sign in. One for your buyer profile, one for your seller profile. One for your buyer profile, one for your seller profile. If all you want to do is just buy stuff, leave your buyer profile. You can just leave your pretty much just leave your buyer profile as is. You got to fill that out. You want to sell something also, and then you got to fill that out as well. And then you include your PayPal. What happens is email address. Once the sale is transacted, what happens is once the sale is transacted, that's how you get your funds. So we'll just pay you through. We will pay you. That's how you get your funds. So we'll just pay you through your PayPal. So it's all everything's done electronically. For a check or anything. So you don't have to wait, for a check or anything. So once that's completed, listing an item. So once that's very simple. Listing an item is very simple. Add auction, and you'll see add auction screen on the upper right hand side of the and it's very intuitive. So you click on that, and it's very intuitive. So you fill in a description, and then the title of the auction is a description, and then you'll see categories. Is it a pipe? Is it tobacco? Accessories? Check that box, etc. And you check the length. And you just check that box. You want the auction. You check the length of time, and then you want the auction to run. The price, and then you check. You can set the price. You can set you can set $1 beginning bid, $10. You can set like a $1 beginning bid, $10, $100, whatever. You can set a reserve auction. If you want $50 guaranteed out of the item, for example. You want $50 guaranteed out of the item, for example. You set $50. So any you bid below 50 is hit, then you retain the item. It doesn't sell as well. And then you can have a buy it now as well. Then you can check just a 50 gram tin of tobacco, like for example. Just a 50 gram tin of tobacco, for example. Small flat rate box. You select, the large, small flat rate box, medium flat rate box, large, that you've taken with your phone. Upload your photographs that you've taken with your phone, and then just click post auction camera, and that's it. And then just click post auction. It starts running, and you're showing them here. It starts running, and you're showing them here. You can, once you, and then if it's a buy it now, then once you buyer can execute on that immediately, or the buyer can execute on that immediately, or just some of those are really going for. And yes, some of those are really going for some decent money there. Some decent.
How do you set the selling price?
That's up to the seller.
How do you set the selling price?
That's up to the seller. Listing the item will make that. So whoever's listing the item will make that determination. $10. If they want to sell, an item for $10, they get $10. Then they sold the item. Starting bid at $10, they get $10, or they sold the item for $10. Keep bidding on it. I mean, it is an auction. Or more. I mean, if people keep bidding on it, I mean, it is an auction. But if you have like that bag of, but if you have like that bag of, you don't want to let that, for example, you want to set $150. You don't want to let that go for. Then you can set $150 on it, for example. Then you can set the reserve price on that. Hits $150. Somebody, the item is hits $150. Then the item is effectively sold at that point.
Mike, I have a question that's come in from our our YouTube audience there.
Sure.
2 of them actually. Rich wants to know. He said, I noticed on the site there are some states that you're not allowed to ship to. He's asking for if you could rattle off a list of those, but also explain why two buddies who make this transaction with the seller still should not ship.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was one of the things I was alluding to earlier.
Unfortunately, that was one of the things I was alluding to earlier.
From
Legal landscape has changed.
There weren't that
from 2016 to present. There weren't that many
from state to state
when this from state to state. When
I think there's the big four, which are Washington, Utah.
I think there's the big four, which are Washington, Utah, South Dakota, and Maine.
Tobacco is prohibited to be shipped.
Tobacco is prohibited
from an electronic
to be
source.
shipped.
You cannot buy it online.
From an electronic source. You
Vermont
cannot buy it online.
I believe
Vermont
Arkansas,
and I believe Arkansas.
In fact, I just
are a couple of other ones.
We just had a user from Vermont.
We just had a user from Vermont who was
weeks ago. And
contacted us a couple of weeks ago.
He buys tobacco
and he was saying
all the time
that
online and stuff.
he buys tobacco all the time online and stuff.
That's up to the retailer.
That's up to the
for example,
retailer. To be honest with you, for example, if Smoking Pipes wants to send tobacco to Vermont.
But there's something known as a facilitator law.
There's something known as a facilitator law, which could
we didn't want
to
really get into.
We didn't want to really get into.
We wanted to keep the site as clean as possible.
We wanted to keep the site as clean as possible and
not just to protect
as
ourselves,
usable
but
for
the user base.
Not just to protect ourselves, but for the user base as well.
So a little bit more conservatively.
We're playing it
just to keep it
a little bit more conservatively, just to keep it a safe spot.
So what would happen hypothetically if a guy, so I live in Washington State, and if I went on the Tinbids and bid on something and won, and then the guy said, okay, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I'm going to ship it to you. I know you live in Washington, and they got busted.
That I couldn't speak to. I have read some articles. Some case attorney's office has some case attorneys law
general of some of these states
the attorneys general of some of these states have gotten
not at individual,
pretty red under the collar. Not at individuals, but at retailers.
As far as your scenario is concerned.
Once you've entered your address
into your user
profile,
when
you into your user profile,
you say that you're from Washington,
when you register for the site, you say that you're from Washington, you will not be allowed to.
It'll be grayed out for you, so you can see all the tobacco.
It'll be grayed out for you, so you can see all the tobacco. But you won't be able to bid.
We built the site that way,
so we built the site that way to again to keep it safe.
Yeah, so that's why I live in California.
Right.
I see Brian's got his hand up with a question.
I actually have questions for you, Mike.
Go for it.
I actually have questions for you, Mike. So on here's shameless plug. On a recent past episode of the Pipes Magazine radio show, I talked about ways to evaluate a vintage tin to see if it is in safe and secure condition and improve your odds of getting good smoking tobacco. Have you done anything to work with your sellers? Have you done anything to work with your sellers to ensure that good condition that the tobacco's in good condition?
Yeah,
I've got a second one when you're done with that one.
Sure.
I've got a second one when you're done with that one.
Sure. On any auction site. I mean, obviously, on any auction site, there's going to be, an honor system, and we make that abundantly clear in our terms and conditions. And we make that abundantly clear in our terms and conditions and FAQs.
We do monitor.
That being said,
pretty closely.
We do monitor the site
somebody's
pretty closely. Somebody's saying, I got a 25-year-old
standard mix
and a Dunhill standard mix, and
we're going to take this listing down.
Captain Black. We're going to take this clearly down.
A misrepresentation
because that's clearly a misrepresentation.
What we do, we do have a guarantee.
We do have a guarantee. So once
if the tobacco is not
what we get say it is,
complaint from
and we get a complaint from a buyer,
we will work with
caveat emptor aside, we will work with that
seller to get both parties actually
to get the both parties actually
get the problem
to get the get the
And then
problem
my second
resolved.
part is, do you help with sellers?
And then
in
my
ways
second
to
part
ship
is, do you
to
help with
Europe,
sellers in ways to ship
overseas? Because
to
sometimes
Europe,
that can be a royal pain
overseas? Because sometimes that can be a royal
thing I'm
pain
sitting
in
on.
the
Yes, and
thing I'm
that's-
sitting on.
Yes,
and absolutely
that's-
100%. The logistics.
Absolutely 100%. The
Portion of
logistics
building this site was the Achilles
portion
heel
of building
from day
this
one.
site was the Achilles heel from day one.
You know, the North American thing, U.S.
the North
is
American
not a big
thing,
deal.
U.S. is not a big deal. We've worked
we
with
have to use ship stations, stamps.com.
we have to use ship stations, stamps.com,
all of our APIs
to get all of our APIs organized
for
for the various
countries.
shipping. So
we have done that
for various
so
countries. We
no
have
matter
done
where
that.
you are
So
in the
any
world, you
no matter where you
can
are in the
receive
world,
a package.
you
That's not a problem.
can
With the
receive
exception
a
of,
package. That's not a problem.
China,
with the exception
we
of
have to produce
China,
shipping label to China.
we have to
because of
produce the
certain,
shipping label to China
regulatory
because of
issues, and
certain
COVID didn't
regulatory
help
issues,
any
and
either.
COVID didn't
Post office put some
help any
restrictions on
either.
that. So if you
Post
sell
office put
something
some
to
restrictions on
someone
that.
in
So
China,
if you
for example,
sell something to
it's not a
someone in
problem.
China, for example,
we just need to
it's
generate
not a
the
problem.
label manually.
We
do
just
it
need
every
to
day.
generate the label manually.
So we're getting
we
pretty
do
good
it
at it.
every day.
The
So we're getting pretty
problem
good at it.
with international selling,
The problem
however,
with international selling, however, so international buying is not an issue. International selling
how do we get Pierre in Luxembourg?
How do we get Pierre in Luxembourg?
Japan,
A label to sell to somebody in Japan, for example.
The big problem comes in.
That's where the big
we
problem
actually
comes
spoke
in.
with some engineers.
And we actually spoke with some
who
engineers
work on eBay, and they spent a
who
lot of time with us.
work on
And
eBay,
unfortunately,
and they spent a lot of time with us.
Wasn't very helpful.
And unfortunately,
Well,
their
they have $1 billion
solution
budget.
wasn't very helpful. It was, well, they have
Tinbids
$1 billion
does not have $1 billion
budget.
budget, unfortunately.
Tinbids does not have
we
$1
don't
billion
have offices
budget,
all over the world
unfortunately.
where we can,
And we don't have offices all over the world where we can,
set these things
incorporate
up.
them and
we are working
set
on
these things
on
up.
solutions,
So
and hopefully by the end of the
we
year,
are working
we'll have,
on solutions, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have
even if it has to be
some systems in
driven,
place, even
so
if
that
it has to
people
be
can,
manually driven, so that people
sell,
can
we can't get sellers from Japan. They
sell.
can sell to
We can't get sellers from
Australia,
Japan. They
etc.
can sell to somebody in
That was always
Australia,
part of my
etc.
vision for this too. I truly
That was
wanted
always
to
part
open
of
this
my
up to the
vision
entire
for this
world.
too. I truly wanted to open this up to the
because
entire
there
world.
are great tobacco brands out there.
There are
that
great tobacco
are completely
brands
unknown
out
to
there
us here in
that are completely unknown to us here in United States. And why not?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, so what you're saying is
building the software
to support, 100
building the software to support,
100 regulations,
something different countries, shipping regulations, and postal
was not quite feasible yet.
Customs.
It's not quite feasible yet.
It's a little beyond the scope of the present software as it takes a little more intervention. Yeah.
From somebody who's been in the industry, I believe.
From somebody who's been in the industry, I believe the cost to build that system would exceed the total annual sales of pipe tobacco in the world.
Probably.
But but as far as international buying,
as far as international buying,
if you're in Germany,
go for it. If you're in Germany, if you're in
Greece, Italy, wherever,
Egypt,
you can buy all day.
Greece, Italy, wherever you can buy all day.
I ran my daughter was in.
We have
Spain.
In fact, I ran my daughter was in.
And I had her buy a few
studying
things
for the
just
summer,
to test it out.
And I had her buy a few things just to test it out, and
label
just
generated
perfect. So
that was it.
Label generated beautifully, and
now you're going to pay $20 for your item, so make sure.
Now you're going to pay $20 for your item, so make sure you really want it.
But it works.
But it works.
Super.
Yeah.
Mike, I have another question from the YouTube group. Northwoods Piper said, are there any known issues with getting payments sent through once a buyer has won a bid? Then how long does it take for the seller to
get
his payment?
the way we work it is
the way we work it is once an item is sold,
has 4 days to complete the sale.
Buyer has 4 days to complete the sale.
If they don't complete it within 4 days,
if they don't complete it within 4 days, then we'll
get a couple of emails.
We start nudging. We get a little. They'll get a couple of emails.
Once they have paid, then
you got to pay.
It usually takes
once they
2
have
to 3
paid,
days
then
for our payment
it
process.
usually takes 2 to 3 days for our payment process or
credit
business
the
days
funds into our account.
to credit the funds into our account. We withhold payment to the sellers until we get confirmation that it's shipped. Once we see that the label has been generated and once we see that the label has been generated and it's shipped to the then we disperse the funds. So the whole thing to the seller of the item. So the whole thing, to get maybe a week your funds or less, depending on how to get your funds or less, depending on how quick these things happen. If weekend, for example, takes place on the weekend, for example, we might see the funds credited Monday or Tuesday. You'll get your money. Item ships Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll get your money that day.
Awesome. Amir had his hand up there, and thanks for being patient, buddy.
I have a question, but I know the answer. I have a question, but I know the answer. Have you ever tried but package to Iran? Have you ever tried because in 2018 I bought from Cappajo's and 15 tins from Cappajo's and they sent me. I bought to Iran from I bought lots of it was a nice deal. Once, but it was a nice deal. I don't know it's possible, but now I don't know it's possible now.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. We haven't. I can't speak to that. We haven't had any part of the world yet. Any hits from that part of the world yet? I did not see that. I can tell you that I did not see that. Iran prohibited list or cautionary list. We check prohibited list or cautionary list. We check that frequently. Fortunately. It's a short list for China, strictly because, like I said, China was one of them strictly because of COVID, New Zealand also because of COVID, but Cuba for obvious reasons. I didn't see North Korea. I didn't check see Iran on the list, but if there's double check. But if there was an issue, if there was an issue, obviously we would just refund your money if there was a problem.
Great. Thank you. So great. Thank you.
I want to just pause for a second here, if I might give another plug for our sponsors, the Las Vegas Pipe Show. If you are just joining and didn't see all this before, sit up and pay attention. The rest of you guys can go get a drink of water. Las Vegas Pipe Show is something that I'm very excited about. Under some new guidance from Brian and Dave, and it should be a fantastic new show. Since Brian's actually here, would you like to spend just 2 minutes? Give us the Reader's Digest version. And by the way, vegaspipeshow.com is the website. And but it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth.
I got the other end of the horse. So the show is shaping up to the fact we've sold out the shaping up to the fact we've sold out the Palace Station Hotel and Casino, all 500 Palace Station Hotel and Casino, all 500 and some odd rooms is sold out on Saturday night. There is no more room at the end. December 25th. Thank God it's not December 25th. But attendance is looking. We've sold 30% more hotel rooms. We've sold 30% more hotel rooms than the show did back in 2019. Going to be a lot of people. So going to be a lot of people. Website is actually the first time that anybody can go online and see the list of the current paid exhibitors. Who's got a table. So you can. We also have a social media studio. We also have a social media studio where a couple other podcasters are going to be recording and doing their thing live there. Shane Ireland live there. Pipes is going to be doing Shane Ireland from Smoking Pipes is going to be doing some stuff. YouTube channels, doing some videos there. We've got some YouTube channels that will be set up and recording there. I heard from Mike at Briar Blues. 28 or 29 different YouTubers that are going to be 28 or 29 different YouTubers that are going to be wandering around the show. So yeah, it's just Dave and I wanted to bring a pipe show kicking. Dave and I wanted to bring a pipe show kicking and screaming into the 21st century. And it's coming along. If you are planning on attending, we would greatly appreciate your admission online or booking your admission online or your table rental online as soon as possible. Gifts that everybody gets when they sign up. Gifts that everybody gets when they sign up and pay. So we need to know how many of those to print. We're using a dated admission badge. To print. So we need to know how many of those to print. And pay so the more you the better off go online and pay and sign up right now, the better off we will be. You will be able to smoke your pipe. You will be able to smoke your pipe in the showroom and in our 2,000 square foot smoking lounge that will be open 5 to midnight on Friday. The smoking lounge will be open 5 to midnight on Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to midnight on Saturday, 10 to 3 on Sunday. All 10 to 3 on Sunday. Are the only pipe show that I know of. We also are the only pipe show that I know of right now that is encouraging you to room hop. Go to the 14th floor of the hotel and go to the 14th floor of the hotel. We're working on ways for those that aren't staying at the hotel. We're working on ways for those that aren't staying at the hotel to make sure that they can get up to the 14th floor. Odds are all you have to do. Those of you that are listening, odds are all you have to do is say I'm going to visit David, Dorian Ross on the 14th floor and give his room number. Access granted.
Brian, in that
access granted.
In that screen that you have behind you of the Palace Hotel, are those top windows the 14th floor?
The 14th floor is actually the 13th floor because there's 14th floor is actually the 13th floor because there's no 13th floor. 20, but I believe the tower's 20, something like 20, that, 26 stories. 28 so we're kind of stories, in the middle something here. Like that, 26 stories. So we're kind of in the middle here. Let me see if I can get my finger over there. So if you look, let me see if I can get my finger over there. Right there in the corner. That's DDR's room right there in the corner. Both DDR and wherever Dave went. And I can't Dave, find him on the wherever Dave went. So big I can't find him on the screen. Screen's gotten so big I can't find you, Dave. Dave's going to have a that'll be hosted by him, hospitality suite that'll be hosted by him. And come up to the 14th floor and make new friends. Come up to the 14th floor and make new friends in reality. Virtual friends in reality. Bring money. We're also everybody that comes to the show is getting. We're also everybody that comes to the show is getting a drink ticket that's good for one cocktail or two soft drinks. Cash bar in the smoking lounge. The little cash bar in the smoking lounge. So
this is actually something that I haven't heard anyone talk about. Having been in my day life, my other life, gone to lots and lots of trade shows and exhibitions and conferences. It seems like, we all always focus on going to the pipe shows because of the pipes we're going to see and the pipe makers and the blends that are going to be, sold off at ridiculously low prices. But really, seriously, the most important thing about a conference like this is the other people that you'll meet, making new friends. If you're in business for, any reason, that's how I met Mike. You go to create new relationships like that and may take your entrepreneurial venture to new heights this way, go. And that's really the reason to room hop. Those rooms are the best place. They're a little bit smaller and more intimate than the smoking tent. They're a place where you can have some, serious, see what I did there with the serious conversations with people. And so I would throw out a plug for making the most of those.
It's really, my pipe smoking it's really, my pipe smoking technique is a combination of preferences, 3 or 4 different and the way I learned those was by going, and the way I learned those was by going, show me how to tamp, by meeting these people and having them show me how to tamp, how they tamp, how they pack a bowl. And for many of us now, that don't have a really strong brick and mortar, that don't have a really strong brick and mortar near us, you may not need to buy a pipe right this is a chance. You may not need to buy a pipe right then and there. Hands on a pipe, but now you'll be able to put your hands on a pipe. Talk to the person selling it. Talk to the person selling it. Walk up to somebody that is smoking a pipe. Even walk up to somebody that is smoking a pipe that you like in person, and ask them about it and see it in person. Smell a blend in person. Smell a blend in person. A couple months ago, a couple months ago, at the Chicago Chicago pipe show, there was walking around the 50-year-old 3 nuns that just went walking around the table by me and grab a bowl, try this. Grab a bowl, try this. Some of them are 90 years old. Vintage cigarettes. Some of them are 90 years old and pop the tin and people are handing them out. It's just the amount of experience. It's just the amount of experience from talking and seeing and meeting gain from talking and seeing and meeting other people is just amazing.
Okay, Brian, one sentence. Why should people be buying their tickets to the Vegas Pipe Show right now?
I can't do anything in one sentence. Have you listened to my podcast? I can't do anything in one sentence. Have you listened to my podcast?
All right, 2 sentences.
Book ahead now, then you get entered into book ahead now, then you get entered into the 2 different pipe set virtual pipe club and the virtual pipe club and the founder of it, DDR, has been so kind to donate to us. The only way to get into those pipe sets is right now to book in advance. I'm not going to tell you anything, but I think we've got 75. I'm not going to tell you anything, but I think we've got 75 those entrance into those 75 or 80 in advance, which 75 or 80. The walk-in numbers, which by the way, that's the walk-in numbers from 2019. So we're already ahead of that. So you got a 1 in 40 chance. 1 in 50, so you got a 1 in 40 chance. 1 in 60 1 in 50, chance once we get everybody. 1 in 60 chance once we get everybody booked in of winning a pipe set. I can't even say hello in one sentence. I can't even say hello in one sentence.
Well, thank you, Brian. It was just really fortuitous that you were here so we could have you talk about that. But let's get back to
come and meet Mike in person because he's going to be there. Come and meet Mike in person because he's going to be there.
I will be there. I'm very grateful, Brian, that you took it over. I'm very grateful, Brian, that you took it over. I mean that sincerely. It was a sad day when the show all of a sudden announced that it wasn't going to happen, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, it just might anyone better to have. It was you. I can't think of anyone better to have good luck taken it over. So thank you and good luck, and I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, so now the site's up and running. It's had its redesign.
Doing exceptionally well. It's doing exceptionally well. Traffic. We're getting an awful lot of traffic. We're getting an average of, I think we had 15 new subscribers. I think we had 15 new subscribers. I'm told yesterday alone. I had no experience with a site like this. I'm told I had no experience with a site like this. Their eyes were popping out. My developers were people that have signed. Their eyes were popping out of their heads at the number of people that have signed up several weeks in the past several weeks. I hope it continues to. I hope it continues to. If it does, then we'll have a nice grow like that. If it does, then we'll have a nice 24-hour pipe show, which is kind of 24-hour pipe show, which is kind of something like which is what I really wanted to have. Just something like I said, the old school eBay, where you can just log on at any time and that was appealing to you and find stuff that was appealing to you. And I think we're on that crescendo, and I hope it stays that way for sure.
Can you give us a ballpark of the number of users? I know that's a little bit proprietary, but if you
I think we are in the. No, hold on. Yeah, I think we are in the. No, hold on. Maybe I can do this. We're over 600 now. We're over in that 600 now. Most of those have happened in the past. Most of those have happened in the past less than 2 months. I'll say 45 days. Less than 2 months. I'll say 45 days. We've had an enormous growth spurt. We've had an enormous growth spurt, and it's just keeps going.
That's pretty awesome. I have a question for you about that. On eBay, there are different classifications of sellers. So ones that have some gold stars as known sellers and have high ratings and whatever. Are you going to?
Yep, we are. That's actually that's a phase 4 development. That's actually that's a phase 4 development that will probably roll out maybe Q1 roll out maybe Q1 of trying to get a lot of the nuts and bolts. We're trying to get a lot of the nuts and bolts in October hammered down right now. So coming in October, hopefully in October we're going to have a relist. Hopefully in October we're going to have a relist, for example, item. So if your item doesn't sell right away, for example, you can just click it, 2 clicks, and then you'll get your item relisted. Then we're going to have having to repost it. Then we're going to have a cancel feature. If there's a say you cancel feature. If there's a say you had a typo, or you uploaded the wrong emails. Pictures, we get quite a few support emails. Guys get so many pictures accidentally upload They get so many pictures taken, and they
a Dunhill they throw up
instead of a Dunhill they
or something
throw
like
up
that.
So we have to take Peterson 10 or something like that. So we have to take the
get
listing down for them so they
imagery up.
get the
That will all be user
imagery up.
adjustable.
That will all be user
by the end of the year. So we do have a lot of things on the drawing board.
So we do have a lot of things on the drawing board.
Keep it fresh,
to
keep it
improve the
rolling.
site, and just keep it fresh and keep it rolling.
Awesome. Just kind of a thought in my head. This goes out to all the people who are right now just considering, gee, should I go and sign up for something? Some of the most successful resellers on eBay got in on the ground floor, got in early, or have longevity gives you a lot of advantages. And so, this is a good time to be one of the first. You'd say, I was one of the first 1,000 sellers on Tinbids.
Right.
And you'll be famous. There we go.
That's right. Exactly.
What about pipes? So we've talked about the fact that you have lots of tobacco on the site.
We've had quite a few.
We've had quite a few
several on myself
listed. I've put several on myself.
Guys just seem to be really gravitating towards
the guys
tobacco.
just seem to be really gravitating towards the tobacco.
Obviously, I wouldn't have done the site. I didn't think we needed another.
Obviously, I wouldn't have done the site. I didn't think we needed another outlet for tobacco.
I didn't realize there was
that much draw to
category
to that.
So the pipes
category
they do sell. They're just
so the pipes
prolific
they do sell. They're just not as
and we have other categories
as the tobacco has been.
And
we have other categories as well
lighters
too. Of course, we have accessories and lighters,
things like that. I suspect with more users,
I suspect with more users,
we'll start seeing some more of those
that will sign up. We'll start seeing some more of those items populate the site.
Tobacco is
but
king.
For now, definitely tobacco is king. No question about it.
Dimitri, I see your hand up. Why don't you
I have a question.
jump in there?
I have a question. Is the feedback feature same like on eBay? Then you leave feedback and then you leave feedback about seller, seller, how he shipped and so on, and do you get ratings similar to eBay? And do you get ratings similar to eBay?
We don't have it
or
yet.
you don't have it yet?
That will be.
We don't have it yet, but that will be included in the
rollout that we're planning for
feedback rollout that we're planning for Q1.
Because I do want to make it a little more social.
Because I do want to make it a little more social.
People get to know.
Because I think that helps too. People get to know. David said that
there more of a community feel. And
you get more of a community feel,
some renown,
and sellers have some renown, and they with repertoire with
it helps
buyers,
and just make it a little more of a.
It helps not just make it a little more of a
trust,
tight knit community, but builds trust.
So we will be rolling
amongst the parties.
Thank you. Yes,
so we will be rolling.
Thank you. Somebody. Thank you. Yes, like, because when you see somebody with like. Positive feedback and 10 negative, then you positive feedback and 10 negative, then you should be careful about that person.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right.
So, what do you want to? What are the goals of Tinbids for growth coming forward, and what are you planning on doing?
We just recently had a big
had a big
Pipes magazine, which I was really
launch on Pipes magazine, which I was really it was really great to have that.
A lot of our recent user
credit that with a lot of our recent user explosion.
Coming up, we're going to be advertising in
News Journal,
which
Pipe Club of London News Journal.
The scope of their membership is quite large.
Just the scope of their membership, I know, is quite large. I'm exploring marketing in the Asian regions, Japan and China.
Vision from day one, as I said, was always to make this.
Vision from day one, as I said, was always to make this a global and international.
It's really humbling to see so many people from all over.
It's really humbling to see so many people from all over say that you have an international business. It's really say that you have an international business. It's really great. We're loving doing this. So that marketing is going to be our primary. So that marketing is going to be our primary. Just trying to push focus for the next couple of months. Just trying to push literally push things around the globe literally.
I'm going to open this back up to the questions from the members here in the meeting in just a moment. But I have a question that I'm imagining you've had conversations around this with your team and maybe with some of the other people in the industry. What do you think is going to happen as you emerge as a larger and larger reseller or auction seller to other sites that sell tobacco, when people go and put their vintage tobacco on those sites? What is that going to do to the overall?
Yeah, hard to quantify. Hard to quantify. I think our site. There aren't. Somewhat unique, and auction sites out there. There are. But auction sites out there. None that are truly user generated. None that are truly, for example, user generated. JR Cigars. They have. For example, JR has JR Cigars. They have their inventory site that they hold their inventory. There are sites and these wine. There are sites. These vintage wine sites. They sell these vintage wines that go for thousands of dollars. Step with that are more something like step with does. They send the wines over to them. Like Pipestead does. They send the wines over to them and they sell. I think our site because it is. I think our site because it is. People just a marketplace where can just come together. People just and they can just come together. And they can search for whatever they want. The price is driven by the price is driven by it's not a set price demand, and it's not it's not a set price by distributor, individual or retail distributor or anything like that. So I think that's probably what's I think that's probably what's the future. I just think it's what's going to happen with the future. I just think it's just going to be growing, but it'll hopefully just be growing, but more people around the world. But it'll be more people around the world. But it'll be interesting to see what market with so many happens with that market with so many people from so many different places looking for these items.
Yeah, I'm curious to see.
For sure. Yeah, we had a bag of esoteric sell for $400 the other day. Predicted that, but somebody somewhere really wanted that. But somebody somewhere really wanted that. And I think that's the difference. And so that site like this. I think that's the difference between a site like this and out there, and some of these other ones that are out there.
Conversely, I think a site like this could increase the availability of tobaccos, because now you've got people all over the world going, I'm in Iran, I've got an extra, Samuel Gawith that's not available anymore. I can post it here, and then there's another guy in India, Ramachandra's next door neighbor, and he's going to put something. Now, more supply usually drives down prices. So from a consumer side,
Sure.
Like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've seen that happen. Absolutely. Already. Yeah. And we've seen that happen already. In the beginning, there were some rare Dunhill tins, rare-ish Dunhill tins that were going way above, what I would expect to see for going way above market. What I would expect to see for now that more people are using it. But as you just pointed out, now that more people are using it and posting similar items tapered off a little bit. That's tapered off a little bit. So that's absolutely true. When you see these rarities you can also come through. When you see these rarities that come through, or they don't even have to be rare, maybe just aged. We had some Christmas cheer that were. We had some from Christmas cheer in the 90s. From and they the early 90s, mid 90s, and they always go dollar amount for a pretty high dollar amount because luxury tobacco for obvious reasons. It truly is luxury tobacco like this. Like wine. It truly is like buy a bottle of wine. You can get buy a bottle of Mouton Rothschild today for a couple $100. Mouton Rothschild today for a couple $100. We'll sit on it for 20 years. I think that's it's going to be a couple thousand. This whole thing is. So I think that's what's really fun about this whole thing is just to see what people what they think the value is of willing to what they think the value is of these tobaccos.
That's awesome. I'm going to open it up to questions from the rest of the club here. And again, if you just throw up your virtual hand, and also those of you over there watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you got a question, just put it into the chat there, and I'll pass it along to Mike. I'm curious to know what's going through you guys' minds now that we have a website like this. Here's a question for you. And you know what? You can, how are we going to do this? You just yell out if you were aware of Tinbids before today.
No.
No, I was not aware. No, I was not aware.
Heard of it. Nope. No, hadn't heard of it.
But I got my account, my first bid put in.
Darren's on top of it there. Very cool. Well, so what do you think about a site like this? So Darren obviously is already saying he's going to use it. Anybody else planning on going to put up some of your, even if you aren't fully committed yet, what's on
definitely
your mind?
Yes.
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, definitely yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that, Dimitri. Like,
well,
how are you going to use this?
I have some. I have some tobaccos, which I'm not going to smoke. Like aromatic McClellan tobacco, aromatic McClellan tobacco, planning to sell, and that's great. Planning to sell it, and that's a great platform to do it. And of course, if I'll find something new, and I cannot find it anywhere else, something I cannot find it anywhere else, of course I'll buy it.
Dimitri, did you used to buy tobacco on eBay before they put down?
Yes, I did buy some on eBay when it was still available.
Awesome. Who else is planning on using Tinbids to find tobacco?
Of course, me.
I mean, here's gonna
everyone, right?
He's on top of it.
I just know it. Myself with the site. I just know it. Myself with the site. Going to learn and I'm slowly going to learn. I'm not obviously going to sell everything from my end. I'm not only buying to sell everything from my end. I hope I'm only buying. I'm able to get some good deal at the earliest. I'm able to get some good deal at the earliest. Thank you.
Awesome. By the way, got a comment from our YouTube group. Northwoods Piper says, I'm listing some today. So that's good. By the way, gentlemen in the meeting group, we have to start rehearsing our lines there. So when I feed you a line, you can all say, oh, yeah. Let's try it one more time. Who's using?
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
baby.
Definitely.
Just sign in already. Just sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah. Oh
yeah. Dave Johnson's got a question there. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. One of the worst problems that I see on eBay is having things listed in the wrong category. You're trying to buy things. You're trying to buy things under whatever it is that you type in. You got a bunch of stuff listed in there. It's in the wrong, you're find is whatever you happen to find is in the wrong, wrong category, wrong category, whatever. I was looking on your your Tinbids here. I'm looking on your Tinbids here. Pipes. And I looked under pipes, and the only thing I see listed is three tens of Seattle Pipe Club. Three tens of Seattle Pipe Club and Columbia River and a tin of squadron leader. Samuel Gawith, those are squadron leader. But those are tins of tobacco. But that's the only thing on the pipe category. How are you going to police your site and make sure? How are you going to police your site and make sure the things that are listed in the right category?
Yeah, we only have a few categories to choose from in the beginning. Yeah, we only have a few categories to choose from in the beginning anyway. So if something is labeled pipe, let me see what you're looking at. I can tell you. Let's see. It's possible that the seller miscategorized or fingered the listing as we call it in the IT world. Listing as we call it in the IT world. We could go when we go through there. When we go through there. That's a pretty easy. That's a pretty reshuffle those. That's a pretty easy. Generally speaking, unless there's an actual. Generally speaking, unless there's an actual problem per se with the listing, as by problem I mean an inaccurate description. With the listing, as by problem I mean an inaccurate description. Or sellers don't generally contact us. Sellers don't generally contact us to make corrections. So unless they do that, jump on it unless it's requested. Don't really jump on it unless it's requested. But I see what you're saying, of course.
Alvin, I see you got your hand up there, buddy. You're on mute there, my friend. Alvin, you're on mute there.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, DDR. Mike, if you have a search feature, so Mike, if you have a search feature, so if I'm looking in the search field and just versus having to scroll through all the search field and versus having to scroll through all the tobaccos.
Oh yes, absolutely. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a search window. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a search window. So any be revealed by listing name will be revealed by name. Will not search. That's how you want to complete it. Will not search. That's in development. Completed auctions. Yeah, that's in development right now. Anything live? Yeah, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. One follow-up
anything live? Yeah, thank you.
Then you'll have a table at the show. Sure. And then you'll have a table at the show. Now, will you have any tobaccos available? Now, will you have any tobaccos available?
Probably not for sale.
At your table?
We may probably not for sale. The common. We may give something to the common good there for the raffle here this coming weekend. We're going to be in the Columbus show here. Great. Coming weekend. We'll stop by the table and say hi. Great. I look forward to stop by the table and say hi. Yeah, we'll throw a couple of tins there for we'll throw a couple of tins there for the raffle. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to jump in here real quick because we're getting close to the end of the meeting time. Not yet, so don't all run off. We still got time to chat with Mike and find out more, answer more of your questions. I do this every week just so that people, are, if their wives have been asking them where the hell they've been for the last 2 hours, they say, well, we're almost done. Don't worry, honey. So that's coming up. As I do that, I wanted to let you know that next week, we don't yet have a speaker booked. So it might be a really wonderful time. We do this from time to time and intersperse our guest speakers with a topic that we can all chat about together. The last one we did, revisiting our New Year's resolutions, I thought that was one of the best meetings we had, for a long time. So I'm looking forward to just chatting with you. If you're watching over there on YouTube and Facebook, this is an open forum, for us to hang out and do more. However, we are still working on a lot more guest speakers after the Vegas Pipe Show is over. In November, for example, Marty Pulvers will be back in town, and we're going to have Marty come in and be our guest speaker because he was the founder of the Vegas Pipe Show. So I'm sure he's going to give us, his review, his 5-star review of the show. I see Dimitri's got his hand up again. Let's go back to Dimitri.
Thank you. I just have a couple of announcements. Thank you. I just have a couple of announcements. If you're in New York, visit and looking for some good tobacco, visit. They just recently they just received recently exam for Samuel Davis tobacco, including squadron leader. They have the new Sun Bear, they have the new Sun Bear, they have Hogshead and some other great tobacco. Support your local brick and mortar if you want to support your local brick and mortar and get some good tobacco. Unless you haven't short yet, there is another new pipe show on October 1st, Saturday, October 1st. On October 1st, Capital Land pipe show in Capital Land. Pipe show in Albany, created by Nathan Davis. Show from 9 a.m. It's 1 day show from 9 a.m. So if you 5 p.m. local, so if you local, and I think that's a great place to be. I think that's a great place to be.
Awesome, Dimitri. Thank you. And then I see
Michael, could you please tell us the story of the clay pipes hanging on your wall?
Yes, those actually. Those actually. Favorite steakhouse came from my planet Earth. Favorite steakhouse in New York City on the planet Earth at Keens in New York City. The 35th at 6th and the 35th.
Yes, I hear one of those between 5th and 6th. Yes, I hear one of those fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a cool restaurant. You walk in. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're a pipe smoker, you have to go there. If you're a pipe smoker, you have to go there. They have there's 50-some thousand clay pipes. There's 50-some thousand clay pipes, and they're all cataloged, adorning their ceiling. And they're all cataloged. The restaurant dates back. And they know. I mean, the restaurant dates back 160 years. So they have all these beautiful clays. So they have all these beautiful clays, 1950s, and they had some of those actually from the 1950s. They had some of those later. And I befriended the went into the back room and came out. Went into the back room and came out with a couple of those things. And obviously ran with them.
So you obviously ran with them. Those. And so you do smoke those.
Those are just for display. Those are unsmoked. Those are about 70 years old now.
Okay.
Right. Restaurant.
Yeah. I saw the pipes. I was like, I gotta ask him about them. Yeah. I saw the pipes. I was like, I gotta ask him about them.
That's where they came from.
You cannot smoke them anymore, but they still. Yeah, you cannot smoke them anymore, but they made in Netherlands.
Yeah,
they made in Netherlands. One of the they smoke clay pipe makers, and they smoke amazingly well, and they incredibly cheap. It's like $30 a pipe.
I mean, the guy just basically. Yeah, I don't even think I paid that. All right, I'm out of here. Basically threw him out. I'm just glad they made it. All right, I'm out of here. I'm just glad they made it home.
Mike, one last question before we start to wrap it up. Does Tinbids have an app?
We do not, as of yet, have an app. We do not, as of yet, have an app. But it is mobile friendly. Last week. In fact, we just made a couple of tweaks last week. Still a little to make it Android was still a little twitchy. So, but that's whether you're using iOS or Android. Whether you're using iOS or Android, we'll see how the future holds out. We'll see how growing. Then the future holds out. The site keeps growing. Then obviously we'll be doing other things along those lines. We will have an app.
Great. Yeah. There was a question about that on the YouTube group, and I was always also curious. I will say that I pulled it up. That's why I was showing you some of what the site looks like on my browser on my phone.
We took care to make sure that was going to be very mobile friendly during the development. I usually use my PC. Glad to hear that. Super. So I usually use my PC anyway.
So in the few minutes that we have left, what have we not asked you? What would you like people to know about Tinbids that we haven't chatted about so far?
I think we kind of covered. I mean, I'm just grateful for everyone's, like I said, very interest in it, and like I said, it was very humbling. It's been something that's been in development. It's been something that's been in development now. and
6 years now
here, we're finally here, and we're going to keep
just stay tuned. We're we're going to keep improving the site.
Just keeps continuing to grow. And,
hopefully, it just keeps continuing to grow.
Interesting items on there.
You see a lot of really interesting items on there.
Enjoys it.
I just hope everybody,
as much as I've had,
enjoys it as much as
working on it.
Much as I've had a lot of fun, working on it. It's been worth a lot of work, but
it continues to.
It's been worth it.
I
just hope it continues to do what I hope it will.
Awesome. Well, here's the website for everybody watching out there, tinbids.com. And you can get in on the ground floor. You'd be one of the first 700.
That's right.
Although that
700. That's right. That's right. I'll check after we're done here. That's right. I'll check after we're done here.
You can go on there, and at least it costs nothing to sign up, and you can go on there and just browse around and see what they got.
Right.
Mike, I wish you the best of luck. I just think this is really a game changer. The pipe smoking world needs to keep on being agitated. Without movement and agitation, it sort of begins to have the same old people, the same old vendors, and everything. And that's how an industry dies.
Yeah.
So whether you're excited about Tinbids or be excited that we have something new in the world of pipe smoking.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. Thank you, son, David. Thank you very much. We're gonna keep doing it. Thank you, son, David. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on here and speak with all of you, fine gentlemen, and
really appreciate it.
Thanks for the plug. Really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you, gentlemen. I'm just gonna say one thing in passing out. Passing out? That's not what I want to say. In concluding our meeting. That I always say every week. I have some house guests that just came, old friends of mine, and they came up to stay with us in our new house up here in Washington State. And we went out to dinner last night, and my friend said, I really don't want to sit inside. I want to see if we can get a table on the patio because, he has, like my wife has, and like so many different people have, bit of a compromised immune system, and I'm still scared of COVID, as you should be, because it's still out there and it's still affecting people that we know and love. So here's my invitation. I don't care what you do. This show is not a political platform for anything, but do what you need to do. Wash your hands, get a shot in the arm, stay in the basement. I really don't care. But please keep yourself safe because I love you and I want to see you back again. There you go. Thank you guys for being here. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Mike.
And I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
everybody. Take care, everybody. Take it easy. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Take it easy. Take care.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.